Welcome back to a brand new video. With Abyss coming into episode 9, I wanted to give you guys a guide on how to win every single one of your ranked games on this new map, giving you the best plant spots, the best way to take site, the best way to retake, and the best agents to play on that said map. So if you guys do enjoy it, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. A bomb site really reminds me a lot of Icebox bomb site, where you kind of just have to clear a lot of angles before you're actually ready to plant. Basically, if we're just going through the site, you can get shot from basically anywhere right here because the defense barrier stops right here. So you basically have to make sure you're clearing any part on top of these boxes, anywhere on top. Clear right, clear heaven, clear left. And if you want to go above and beyond, clear backside as well, but it's not necessarily needed. And then that is kind of more so just their spawn. In terms of best or worst places to plant the bomb, there's only really two beneficial spots you're going to be able to plant the bomb if they're just retaking from heaven and their own spawn. The best plant spot, in my opinion, is going to be just right here, right in the middle, because the bomb has a big circle radius on where they're able to defuse from. So if you're able to get that circle radius down as much as you can and give them less spots to defuse from, it'll be a lot easier for you to get the spam, even if you are smoked off, and kill them before they're able to fully defuse. Best spot to plant the bomb at on a site would be just right in the center right here, or you can go on the very far end, but either way, it'll give the enemy less range to be able to defuse the bomb, and it'll make your spray a lot easier. You also want to make sure when you're looking for good places to plant the bomb, it's open to a lot of different angles. So like if you plant here and your teammates have taken heaven, they can only really smoke off realistically one angle. So they're able to smoke off here, which that blocks all of that. But then again, the spam is a lot easier because the circle is diffused a little bit. Or they're able to smoke heaven, and then that leaves one of these two angles open. So I do recommend taking heaven or taking spawn just to make your life a little bit easier when they are retaking. The second best, and what I assume default plant spot is going to be in this corner. It's the safest part to plant the bomb because the only angle you can relatively get shot from is heaven, but you have smokes there anyways. And if you have teammates covering you, they can just hold heaven for you and make sure that you're not going to be able to get swung when planting in this corner. It's kind of the same thing with this spot where they can only really smoke off one angle. So if you take heaven, you can just if you take heaven and they smoke off main, you can just shoot from heaven. If they smoke off heaven, you can just shoot from main. The only downside is you can't really get any impact out of taking spawn control because this entire box clears it. So this is going to be most likely default plant spot, in my opinion, would be just in that corner. And then the best plant spot, if you can, is to plant it right here. Now for the B bomb site, this bomb site is going to be a little bit harder only because of how many angles you actually have to clear in order to take the bomb site. So attacker barriers start from this whole line right here, and defense barriers start from all the way right here. So they're able to get a fair amount of space on you to actually be able to hold and kind of take up all the space so you're not able to actually take the bomb site. So if you're going from heaven, you get up, they're going to be able to be about like right here, jumping across to hold that. You go across, you have to make sure you hold all of on this box, lower heaven on this box as well, and then lower as well. So there is definitely a lot of angles that they're going to be able to swing from, but if you do a good job at using your util, using flashes, using smokes to kind of help clear all that, then taking the bomb site should be relatively easy. Now in terms of plant spots, in my opinion, the best plant spot on this map that you can do for A or for B is going to be just in this corner right here, because as I was talking about the circles on A site, so if you didn't know, there's actually a circle in where the enemy can plant the bomb, which if you didn't know, you probably don't play Valorant, because I feel like that's a simple thing to know. But you can actually get the circle down based on where you're looking. So if I go in this corner, and I plant and I look in this direction, they can defuse the bomb anywhere within this circle. So this gives them a pretty big range where to defuse the bomb. So if the bomb is smoked off, it's going to make your job a lot harder to actually spam because you have to clear a lot more radius. Whereas if I plant the bomb and I look at this wall, it'll plant the bomb in the wall. So you have a lot less. Half of the circle is actually in the wall, so they're not going to be able to defuse from there. And that'll make your job a lot easier to spam when they're on the bomb, even if it's smoked off. So if I just smoke and I ping and I'm spamming from, let's say here, this one's really easy just because if you just put your crosshair to the right of the wall, basically any portion that's right there is going to get hit by your spray. So it's very easy to spam when the bomb is planted and you're looking at a certain direction. It goes the same for if you're planting in a corner. When you plant the bomb, you always want to make sure you're looking in the corner when the bomb actually goes down to give the enemy a lot less range to be able to defuse the bomb. Now that we went over that, in my opinion, the best plant spot is going to be right here. Only because if you look into the wall and you take away that entire radius, the angles that you're actually going to be able to shoot from are going to be there, the right side of heaven, left side of heaven, and down there. So it gives the enemies 4 angles they have to watch out for in order to defuse the bomb, which is leaving them open to the most angles, which is why this is going to be the best plant spot. Also, because when the enemy's retaking, they're most likely not going to have all of their smokes, so they're only going to be able to smoke off one angle. So if they smoke off here, you're still going to be able to shoot from right there, and above the smoke right there. So that still gives them 3 angles to be able to shoot from, or vice versa. If they smoke heaven, you're still going to be able to shoot from right there, and basically anywhere down there because heaven is smoked off. Now, the default plant spot is probably going to be in this corner where you just kind of run in, and when you go down, you're crouched. You can't get shot. You can get wall banged from heaven, but only when you're standing up. So when you're crouched planting the bomb, you won't be able to. And then the only places you really have to watch out for are them jumping up on this box in front of here, and then obviously just pushing you from around this corner. So if heaven is smoked off, you don't really have to worry about getting shot from heaven. You can just run in, plant, look in the corner, and it'll be harder for them to defuse. Now, the safest plant spot you can do on this map is going to be over here, just because if you're taking the bomb site, your team is going to be over here. And the only angles that you're going to be able to get swung from are heaven, down here, and then if they jump up on this box, which hopefully if your teammates are, you know, they're going to be able to watch you, so the guy can't just come over and kill you. But this one is also not going to be easy to play post plant from, only because there's only really one angle you can spam the bomb carrier from. If the bomb is planted, you know, over here in this corner, the only place you're really going to be able to shoot it from is going to be if you jump up on this ledge, which is obviously very risky because you can just fall off. You do have to go pretty far over. You can spam, or, you know, just on this ledge right here, which again is very risky because it is very easy to fall off. Or if you just, you know, wide swing from here or jump up. But again, those are going to be pretty difficult because their teammates are probably going to be holding them while they're defusing. So those are the 3, just to recap. Best plant spot in this corner, default plant spot in that corner, and safest plant spot would be over here. So if you are the one playing smokes and you're retaking a certain bomb site, specifically A, on this map, and you're retaking, the best spots in my opinion to smoke for, or just in general, just make it easier on your team and teammates, once you clear the entire site, if you just walk up and make sure all of this left side is clear on A, and you know that the enemy is going to be right side, you know, you've cleared all of spawn, you've cleared everything else, a lot of people probably would just do this default smoke right here and then go and defuse the bomb. The best thing you can do is, if you have 2 smokes, in my opinion, the best thing you can do is smoking off bomb for 1 if you have 2 smokes. So you smoke off bomb, and then you can just defuse. And then the second smoke that you should do, if you know that they're right side and you've cleared, you know, all of this over here, you one-way this. And the reason that the one-way is a lot better is because if bomb is already smoked, even if it's not smoked, your teammates can be right here holding this one way while you're defusing the bomb, and they have to cross through a one way, which gives your team the advantage to actually get the kill. Whereas if you just did this normal smoke, right here, they can walk across, and if they have a phantom, you know, they can just spam and you can't see them, so you kind of just have to blind spam, hope that they don't kill you. So if you do the one way, that gives your teammates a very big opportunity to actually kill them without, you know, you dying while defusing or your teammates dying. For B, if you're retaking and you're playing smokes, obviously if you have 2 smokes, it's going to be a lot easier. So if you have 2 smokes, just smoke off here and on this box is probably going to be best. Obviously, smoking bomb is going to be the best option, so your teammates can actually spam them while they try and spam you. So if you're defusing the bomb, they're still going to be able to kill you from heaven, so you always want to make sure you're using one of your smokes to cover yourself on the bomb. Make sure you give yourself ample enough room so that they're not really sure where the bomb is planted unless they ping. And then for the second smoke, if your teammates are holding you and they're holding, you know, an angle, you want to make sure you're smoking off to where the enemy has to run through the smoke. So throw 1 smoke on the bomb and throw 1 smoke basically where they have to cross in order to swing out and spam you. So if the bomb's planted here, you know, they have to run out of the smoke to spam, and then your teammates are already holding these angles, so you don't really have to worry about smoking them. Now we are going to go over the best agent roles for this map, and this is just going to be, in my opinion, what I think the best comp is going to be for this map. It's going to involve 2 controllers, 2 initiators, and 1 duelist. In my opinion, you don't really need Sentinel because with how this map is laid out, they can really only push from a few directions, and I just don't think any one Sentinel is going to be able to hold down this entire map. So in my opinion, it's best to just get more info than it is to actually be able to try and hold down the site. So in my opinion, Harbor is going to be the first best controller that you can use, mainly because like Breeze, his wall just covers so much to the point where it's kind of needed. You just kind of throw a wall down and it blocks off so many different angles where they're able to swing from. The only place they can be to kill you from is going to be, well, up there if I didn't die. You block off basically all of heaven, and the only place that they're going to be able to swing you from is going to be right here if they're holding like this angle, which if you have a full team running up, he's only most likely going to be able to get 1 and then die. Same thing for A site. If you just kind of, you know, go in the corner, you make sure you smoke off heaven, you wrap it, and you can smoke both spawn and heaven pretty perfectly too. So basically you have a free, you can plant here for free, which is the, as I covered earlier, the best plant spot. You just have to make sure you clear all of backside, which isn't going to be that hard if you have an initiator like Sova or Breach. Now for the second controller, you can honestly use anyone between Omen or Clove, and the reason Omen or Clove is because they have a lot of other util that helps out. I just think Clove is a little bit better because Omen flashes aren't necessarily that great on this map. His TPs are pretty good, but they are definitely skilled, so you definitely do have to know how to use them before you use them. And Clove definitely helps Harbor out by smoking off the points that Harbor can't, so like that heaven area, you basically just smoke all of that off. You get re-smokes just like Harbor does, so when the round progresses, you're going to have all of your smokes back, and it's basically just really easy. Their decay is really good to basically throw at any point where the enemy's going to be holding from. Then that just makes them 1 HP and super easy to kill. Their res is really good as well, and then the heal is just, well, a heal. Same thing for A site. Harbor uses his smokes first, and then afterwards, once the smokes go down, you can basically re-smoke both the angles, and then once your smokes go down, Harbor's resets, and basically it's a full circle where everything is going to be smoked off at the same time, and it's just going to be super easy to win the rounds. Now for the 2 initiators, Breach is going to be the first best initiator I think on this map that he can play, mainly because his stun is going to be super good for clearing all of the lines that they're going to be able to swing from. So if you know someone is holding from heaven, you know someone's holding from there, you can stun all of those angles and just make it super easy to re-clear, get the smoke off, and then basically push up into sight. Same thing with the C ability. It's really good for clearing out the corners that they might be in. So like if someone's hiding behind there, you clear that. You have someone holding left side, so that they swing into them, or right side, they swing into you. And then with this map being so open, his flashes are just going to be really OP. So if you flash just up there, anyone who's holding in sight, anyone who's going to be holding you from any angle basically is going to get flashed, which makes his flashes honestly the best in my opinion. You can flash off basically anywhere you want and you'll still cover the whole site. And finally, his ult is just going to be really fun to knock people off the map, so I'm super excited to see what people do with that. Now the biggest issue with Breach is you don't really have a drone to clear those close angles, so that's where Sova comes in. You can clear the entire site besides one angle right here, which your teammates are already going to be holding, with 1 dart. So what I found is if you just kind of go anywhere in this general vicinity and you look in the middle, you can bounce it once, right click, and it'll go on this wall and it clears the entire site. So the only place they're gonna be able to hide is going to be on this back wall, which your teammates should already be holding. And then obviously with drone, it's gonna be super good for clearing those op angles. So like up here, anywhere on this box, or right here. And then ult and shock darts are good for getting people off bomb. Kind of same thing for A site. There's a lot of corners you have to clear. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, backside being 5, and then if they're sitting in spawn, which is technically 6. So the best thing you can do is going to just be basically just pulling out your drone, clearing all of these close angles so that your teammates don't really have to worry about them. And then don't worry if you don't get backside, you know all those angles are clear. You can easily just boom, throw the dart up there, and that dart will cover backside. Now, for the best duelist, this is kind of going to be a toss-up on realistically whatever you want to play in terms of like taking space as the duelist. Jet dashes aren't going to be the most OP on this map. You kind of just have to, anywhere that you can dash that also clears an angle is going to be helpful and beneficial for your team. So if you do want to just run up, you can clear that, you can clear back sight, you can clear all of this spawn area, which should all be smoked, so you shouldn't really have to worry about it too much. But you have her updraft, which is good for getting you out of tough situations and getting up into basically the enemy spawn where they may not be expecting you. She has a lot of potential on defense, especially. So basically, the barrier is up there. So you're able to get on this box, and you can basically do whatever, especially with jet knives. You know, you updraft, you're on the outside of the map. You get all this, you get a kill, you dash back, and you're safe. Now for attacking, I did find a really good entry spot for Jet on this A site. So basically, you run over here, you drop a little bit so that you're out of sight from heaven, you dash, updraft, and you can basically get... It does take a little bit of practice, so don't... maybe practice in custom game before you do it in ranked. But heaven's already going to be smoked off, spawn is going to be smoked off. The only spot where you're going to be able to get shot from when you're updrafting from right here is going to be right in front of you, which is open to main, so your teammates should be able to hold this and make sure that they're not swinging you from here. And it's a relatively safe dash updraft, which is always good. Or if you have a breach, another good kind of push I found, your breach stuns or flashes spawn, run on the side of the map, updraft, you can dash, or you can dash updraft, and you're basically in spawn without the risk of getting spammed just from crossing.